continue with my session. We had a slight interruption, so this is the continuation of my earlier message. So I was talking about the prophecies that have been fulfilled in this time, and I was saying that I did prophesy about a was type of viral infection, and there was also one that was supposed to be biochemical. But the biggest issue about that was that there was only a need for a requirement to put on a different type of mask. And with this wave of corona, I don't know, some countries are in the third wave, like the UK, and then countries like China are in the fourth wave, and then there's this second wave in Uganda, um, and other countries are experiencing the same thing, and the death toll has skyrocketed worse than than the first wave. Um, so before when I did give that prophecy, I I was specific that there was going to be a different type of mask that is required, not the normal mask that is that is the one that is common that everyone is using. And from the fulfillment of that prophecy, you have seen people around the world, even prominent people here, like DJ Udong, like the Lord Mayor, Lukwago Elias, and other people around the world who have actually been able to use these different type of masks for extra protection, because even people who are actually experiencing or who have actually tested positive for COVID or anything like that have been um, they are using the normal kind of mask. It's not that it's not effective if you use it, but I did say and I mentioned specifically that that kind of infection will require a different type of mask. And right now, I want to appeal to the Minister of Health, and I want to appeal to everyone involved in the medical field right now, if you're hearing me, so that you are, I mean, like late, it is very imperative that you look into that other type of mask and see if these can be um, forwarded to government or Ministry of Health for approval, or even for distribution for the rest of, I don't know, for the rest of the people in the country, so that you are able to safeguard as many people as possible in that perspective. The reason that the Lord actually gives us this information is so we are able to guide governments and guide leaders on what they need to do and when they need to do it, because the Lord will show us what is going to happen before it happens. And that prophecy has already come to pass. Um, if you will actually get this information and spread it and share it to as many people as possible, then everyone will get the message, and then they will be safeguarded. Amen. Now, there was also a prophecy fulfillment last week or so. I spoke about a different form of identification, and that is going to be a global form of identification. It will not be about um, whatever national IDs and passports and all those other things. And it so happens that the African Union, together with the European Union, have actually come up together, and they've been able to agree on a digital form of sort of microchip that is going to be used as identification for travelers, so that they are able to see if they are COVID positive or COVID negative, and all the other requirements will actually be digital, so that in a way, of course, in their perspective, it is to stop the spread of COVID and all those other things. But I want you to understand perspective. This is what I'm talking about. Perspective. All these things are only leading to the to this situation, or a permanence in terms of those digital microchips becoming a permanent solution. And therefore, they take over the whole world. And every other country this will be a requirement for every other country and for every other individual or person, and that is how it will work out. Now, also, I want to emphasize, um, I did speak about instability, but I did speak about it in terms of war in this country, Uganda, because that is very, very clear. The Lord was very clear as He showed me that, and there were a lot. I said that there were very many prominent people that were involved in this kind of war, and the setup was already in place. Now it is important in this time, and I'll go back to giving you a perspective of what we are required to do as God's people in this time for our own safety, for our own preservation. We are assured uh, of victory because we are overcomers. But this is what is going to happen. So, as a mouthpiece of God, it is my duty to tell you what the Lord is doing right now, or what is going to happen, so you are aware of it. Um, about war, about the war that is going to happen in this country, some sort of instability, and it is going to happen. It must happen, as the Lord did um, show me. Now I am going in a way to tell you. I'm going to give you a vision, and it will be a bit prophetic because at this time I am not allowed to fully give you the details. But I'm sure as you are already in the spirit, the Lord will be able to reveal this to you, if He does, if He wants you to know. So I've seen a vision, and this is particular to the war that is happening. I've seen a vision of jubilation and celebration in this country, and it is in regard to an exaltation and a downfall. And it comes all the way from the airport or someplace in Entebbe, and then the whole jubilation and the whole uh, sort of walk and convoy comes from that side into town, and there's a lot of jubilation in the country, everywhere. Almost all the people that are able-bodied and can actually move on the side on the sidelines of the of God, and they're in jubilation. And I said it was in regards to an exaltation and a downfall. And that was very clear for me. In the next live videos or live streams that I will have, I will try and show and throw more light on that, so that we know what the jubilation is about or the celebration is about. Now, I'm going to try and go back to my message so that I can give you clarity on what it is we are required to do as God's people in this time. And then I will allow the Lord to speak with you as He pleases. Amen. So I was saying earlier that this is the requirement that the Lord has set before us today. We must level ourselves up. If you do not know the Lord and you are not walking with the Lord, you you need to get into you need to level up to that level. If you are already walking with the Lord and the Lord has spoken with you, it means you can hear His voice the way John was able to hear His voice, and you have seen the Lord in visions and dreams and, yeah, out of body experiences and things like that. for people who are at a different level, then the Lord does require you to move higher, to move higher. Now, I want you to understand, like I said earlier, John is walking with the Lord in an earthly realm as a disciple of God. He's a follower of Christ. And when the visitation happens, it happens when he is in the spirit on the Lord's day, which I explained earlier. But that means that that is a different dimension altogether. And I was able to say, yes, he was in the spirit. He was not just born again. He was in the spirit, and yet he could not access some things that were in the spirit. That means the spiritual realm, has levels and dimensions. And the Lord is calling us to come up hither so that he can be able to give us his perspective. This is the thing, this is the problem that is killing the Christian environment, that is killing uh, our the perspective of leaders of ministry and all those things. I appeal to all ministers, like I have done before. I appeal to all ministers to be able to to spend time in the presence of God so they can get clear perspective on what is going on in the spiritual realm. What is God's agenda? What is He trying to achieve? All these things are in the Bible. They are clear things in the Bible. God's agenda right now is to dismantle the kingdoms of this world. All the kingdoms of this world, as controlled by the enemy, they are going to fall. And in the shaking, only those things that are for God will remain. And that is his agenda in everything that is going on around the world. There are two things, like I said, that are going to happen. By the time all these things have happened, which I said earlier is about 3.5 years, because that's 7 years in total. And those years, 2020, 2021, 2022, and if a little part of 2023, and then we will move into that time into 2024, 2025, 2026. If that is the time, those, and I want us to understand, as far as the Lord has shown us or has shown me, that is what I give you. So there's going to be 3.5 years from 2020. There's going to be a 3.5 years after that. And in those two halves, there's going to be two things. There's going to be, I say that the new world order is going to take full shape. And I was able to show you that when we're talking about a new form of identification, GMOs, and microchips, and all those other things that are happening, they are only shaping the new world order, so that the prophecy about the beast, the one that they want the world to worship, can be fulfilled. And it is a must. So I don't actually understand perfectly any Christians at this time that are praying for this to end, for Corona to end, or for the beast not to happen, because these are already prophecies that are given in the Bible. And just like the birth of Christ, just um, the betrayal of Judas, all these things are meant to come to pass. And that is why I want us to understand what is meant to happen, what the Lord requires us to do, so that we focus on that. And that is what I am trying to explain here. Now, in that, our assignment right now is that we are able to have the same identity that Jesus has, not had, has. As he is, so are we in this world. Those are the only kind of people that are going to be raptured, as it is usually said. Or when the Lord does come, those are the only people that he's going to take. The ones that are like him, in him, not even like him, in him and him in them. There must be a total resemblance, like the vision I was giving you earlier. Now, in terms of mentality, I gave you earlier in the previous session, I said the perspective that the world is giving us right now is okay. There's a perspective of fear and threats, and some people, yes, are in some sort of worry, or they are threatened, or they are fearful, they are afraid because of what is going on around the world. But that is a perspective that you are picking because you are in the wrong dimension. Now let me give you some sort of perspective. The enemy will try to get to you. The only way the enemy will try to get to you is when he he brings you down to his level, ground level. Remember, the Bible says that he has made his enemies his footstool. That means they are under the feet of Jesus. And if the enemy is under the feet of Jesus, and we are seated in heavenly places, and uh, far, far and above all powers and principalities, that means that the same position that Christ is the same position that we are in. And if we are in the same position, it means the enemy is down there. Now, what he will try to do, because he cannot reach you at that higher level, in that dimension, what he's going to do is try to pull you down to his level. And that means he gives you his perspective. And I've said so many times, and I'll echo it right now, God and the enemy are not on the same playing ground. They are not. There is no, this one is powerful and this one is more powerful. No, the enemy has no power whatsoever over your life. The only power, the only authority that the enemy has over you is only the authority and power that you have given him access to. And if you will, at this time, take back your position, take back your power and authority, he will be nothing. He will be back down below your feet where he needs to be. So if he's brought any fear or any worry in your life because of what is happening around the world, this is the time that the Lord is saying, level up, come back to your position, stand in your right place, and the enemy will flee. It is that simple. And so the weapon that the enemy will always use is intimidation. He will try to feed you with so much information that says you are not able to withstand this. How you are not able to you will get sick and you will die. You see how it is killing so many people. That will be the same case for you. When the enemy tries to intimidate you, he's trying to tell you that you are powerless, but really you are not. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And God has said he has given us power to tread upon scorpions and serpents and all the power of the enemy. And he adds the most interesting part: they shall by no means harm you. There is no way the enemy is going to harm you, because he's already a defeated foe. He's a defeated enemy. He has his own place, and his own place is still under your feet. And whether there is death going on around you, or terror, or tribulation, or tears, or trials, it does not in any way get the enemy from his place. He is still under your feet. Now it is your responsibility as the Son of God to make sure that you stay in that position, that you stay constantly stay in your position. Because when you stay in your position, the enemy has no access to you whatsoever. There are realms in the spirit that we are talking about. In those dimensions, the enemy cannot reach. He cannot reach you. He can only reach you when he pulls you down to his level. So, in terms of perspective, the enemy will pull you down to his level so that you are exactly like him. And he gives you his own perspective. He keeps telling you, and these people dying, do you think you are special? This is the same thing that is going to happen to you. But when the Lord does call you, he calls you so that he might show you the things, he might show you the things that are